Hi again, folks. I'm Fran Santiago Avila, Science and Advocacy Director for Washington Wildlife First. Welcome back to Collusion Confidential, a series exposing how the leadership of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife is trying to discredit, marginalize, and silence the voices of wildlife advocates. During our first episode, we touched on the now infamous Knoll Memo, which lays bare the unconstitutional motivations behind Agency Director Kelly Sussman's attempt to oust Fish and Wildlife commissioners who expressed viewpoints he opposed. On May 8, 2025, Sussman directed employee Thomas Knoll to draft this memo to summarize the best claims he could muster after investigating the two most outspoken wildlife advocates on the commission, Commissioners Lorna Smith and Melanie Rowland. We will delve into specific allegations in the Knoll Memo in later episodes, and you can find an annotated version of that memo at the link in the caption. Many claims in the memo are just silly. Others are clearly defamatory, and nearly all of them are based on unsupported and unsupportable speculation. Knoll acknowledges from the outset that he knows very little about the Commission, how it operates, or the issues it faces. So he promises to base his conclusions, quote, primarily on indisputable evidence contained in the documents rather than mere supposition, end quote. Unfortunately, Knoll immediately and repeatedly breaks this promise. His analysis is dominated by speculation about facts that seem to, appear to, may, or quite possibly exist. He claims to know Smith's and Rowland's private thoughts, boldly makes allegations founded on his ignorance of the facts and context, and recklessly issues broad proclamations with absolutely nothing to support them. My personal favorite is the passage in which Knoll wonders in what way Smith, quote, has bent procedure and or laws to fit her perception of justifiable conduct, end quote. Knoll finished this memo on May 16, 2025, the same day that the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance petitioned Governor Ferguson for the dismissal of the commissioners who voted to ban the spring bear hunt in 2021 and 2022, including Smith and Rowland, as well as Commissioners Barbara Baker and John Lemke. We don't yet know the full extent of the cooperation between Sussman and the sportsmen, but we do know that Knoll and the sportsmen made similar allegations containing similar language on the same day. We also know that they were after the same end, convincing Governor Ferguson to take actions. Within a week, Sussman forwarded Knoll's memo to Shane Esquivel, Governor Ferguson's chief of staff. What happened next is perplexing. Within a month, on June 20th, Governor Ferguson's office commenced an investigation using the Knoll memo as a starting point. This was several weeks before the public was told Ferguson had opened an investigation based on the sportsman's petition. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it was obvious to me that Knoll's allegations were unsupported, reckless, and defamatory. Not to mention that they explicitly and unconstitutionally targeted commissioners because they talked too often with the wrong people and expressed the wrong viewpoints. But Governor Ferguson is a lawyer, and by most accounts, a brilliant one. So, how could he not have seen what is so clear from the face of the Knoll memo? I can only imagine that he didn't personally review the memo before agreeing to launch this investigation and lend his credibility to Sussman's vendetta. We may have a better understanding of the governor's motivation soon, though, because he's scheduled to release the report from this year-long investigation next Wednesday, June 24. In our next episode, we will discuss the potential implications of that report. Until then, keep up the fight to protect wildlife. And yes, keep colluding.